Hello, boys and girls. Today we're gonna make a textured and patterned pumpkin. So it is fall, so you might see these gourds this time of year because they're in season. They spend all summer growing really big, and farmers usually pick them in the fall. That's why we see pumpkins everywhere. So we're gonna make a big one in our sketchbook. So you're gonna open it up to a new page. See, I've already started on mine over here, and we're gonna make a big pumpkin, and then we're gonna add some pattern and texture. So here we go. So you're gonna need a pencil to start, and then maybe a pen or marker after. So I got my items ready, and now we're gonna make a pumpkin. Okay, to start a pumpkin, we're gonna need to start with a shape. And I like to start with an oval. That way it's nice and big, and it looks just like a pumpkin. If you wanna make a circle, you can do a circle too. And I have my pumpkin going landscape style. But if you want your pumpkin to be tall, like a portrait, you could do it this way too. So I'm gonna start with an oval, and I wanna make it as big as I can. Take my pencil and draw a big oval. And I like to go over it a few times so you get a nice shape. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a stem. So I'm just going to do the top of my stem, and it's going to touch the top of my page. So right at the top of where my oval is, I'm going to add two lines, and they're going to curve in the same direction. So I'm going to go just a little bit past my oval and add one curve line, and then go over a little bit and draw another one. Now to make it look 3D, I'm going to add an oval right at the top. So a nice skinny oval, so it looks 3D. Now I'm not going to worry about the bottom of the stem because it's going to form naturally when I draw the ridges of my pumpkin. Now the first line I'm going to draw is from the bottom of my oval all the way to the near where my stem is. And I'm going to do a straight line. So it's going to go right just like that. I like to go over my line just a few times just to make it nice and dark. So now I have a straight line from the bottom of my oval near where my stem starts. And now what I'm going to create is a big C right next to it. So I'm going to connect it. It's going to touch my stem. And then I'm going to draw over my oval. Notice my oval isn't really going to be my end pumpkin. It's just there as a guide. Now I'm going to do the other side next. So I do another C, go down, and around. Now you're doing this all in pencil because I've had lots of practice. I'm using a pen, but you're going to do that in pencil. Now I'm going to keep adding more C's until I reach the edge of my oval. So I start, this time I'm going to start right next to the stem, make another C, go past my oval. I like to draw a second line, and then I have one more because I want to get the edge of this oval. So I'm going to start behind the stem, use that last part of the oval to add my pumpkin. All right, and it doesn't have to be perfect because pumpkins are not perfect, and the more imperfect the better. So I'm gonna draw another C on this side. And then one last one to finish up the edge. Just like that. So now I have the outline of my pumpkin. So now I'm going to erase all of my lines. right, now you can add some details if you want to. I know some of you might even add a face to your pumpkin, and that's fine. I'm going to leave mine just the pumpkin, but I'm going to add some detail. I'm going to add some little lines for the stem. So I like to draw lines going different directions to show some texture. And texture is how something feels. So I want it to feel like it's bumpy, so I'm adding lines. Okay, so now for the fun part. We're going to add some patterns. So you can go ahead and outline your pumpkin in stem and marker, and then I'm going to switch back to pencil. So now we're going to add some patterns, and patterns are also going to give it some texture. It's going to make it feel like it's 3D. So I'm going to take my pencil, and I'm going to make some patterns. And a pattern is when you repeat something. So you can start with a wavy line or shape, whatever you want, and you're going to add some patterns. Okay, so I drew my pattern, and now I'm going to start to outline it and color it. So since it's a pumpkin, I'm going to go ahead and use some cool colors. It reminds me of a pumpkin. So our cool colors are one side of our color wheel. So I'm going to use the warm side. So I'm going to use reds with orange, and notice I'm using my colored pencils today. Now I can use any kind of orange I can find and any kind of red I can find. So that includes pink and of course yellow. Boys and girls, my pumpkin is all finished. I added my patterns and colored them in. I also did a pattern in the background to really give it that texture that I wanted. So it's all finished. I hope you guys had fun. I did too.